Welcome back, everybody. I'm Edwin.
And I'm Joseph.
And this is
Edwin and Joseph Talks.
So we are on part 5 of our conspiracy videos. It'll be the conclusion. Let's just go ahead and jump right into it.
Cool.
So the next topic is actually the CIA and their involvement with AIDS. 1981, the CDC first reported the HIV/AIDS epidemic. It's when people first really started finding out what it was. Since then, rumors have run rapid that the CIA had actually created the virus to wipe out the African American and homosexual communities. The South African president at that time, Thabo Mbeki, I believe is how it's pronounced, once claimed that the virus didn't originate in Africa but was actually created by the U.S. government in a military lab. There was also a Nobel Peace Prize winner, a Kenyan ecologist by Wangari Maathai, I believe this is how it's pronounced. I'm sorry if I butchered that. When she won her Nobel Peace Prize, she used that platform to also state her belief that it was created by U.S. military. Many claim that during 1978, when they were doing experiments for the hepatitis B shots, that the government was actually using that time to inject the HIV/AIDS virus into African Americans and homosexuals. And there was also, I believe that was between NYC, San Francisco, and Los Angeles, which are three very heavily populated cities. There's also rumors that the outbreak actually happened when Richard Nixon combined the U.S. Army's biowarfare and the National Cancer Institute into one back in 1971. But there are two doctors who worked for that, Dr. Robert Gallo and Luc Montagnier. They deny that any involvement between the Cancer Institute and all that for the AIDS being distributed through there. The only other real conspiracy behind it is that it actually originated in Africa between human to monkey contact. So do you believe that AIDS was something that just it was just a virus that came out of nowhere, or do you believe that the CIA really did have a distribution thing with it and created it for their own purposes, reasons?
When it comes to this one, I have no clue. I've thought about, how viruses and diseases come about, where they come from, because it seems like sometimes they just magically appear.
Sort of, yeah.
I'm not a scientist or a doctor in the fields. I have no clue. The monkey thing reminds me like Ebola.
Yeah.
Okay. We know that original cases of Ebola come from, the monkeys that are in Africa. That's documented, done. There's really no question about that. AIDS, I'm not for sure. I have no clue. Yeah, I don't know on that one. I don't really have any input on this conspiracy.
This one's kind of hard though, because I've heard both theories multiple times, and it's just there's always rumors circulating around that the government do a lot of things behind the scenes and very shady stuff, but you can't really be 100% certain. There's never really been definitive proof of anything. And as weird as it sounds, I can kind of see the monkey thing, just because there's a lot of people out there that do stuff with animals they really shouldn't be doing, and I can see how that could have spread that way,
Yeah, it's hard to say, like I said, with that one we're we're not a doctor. We're not in the scientific field of that. We can't necessarily say how, that stuff comes about.
I guess we'll leave this one as inconclusive.
Yeah, because I really don't have an input on it. There's really nothing to really say on it. The only question I said is, what happens if we found out that it was government? Well, then what?
I mean, at this point, what really can you do?
Yeah,
it's done.
You can get mad about it, but what? I don't know. It's just one that I would have to hear about and go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what's your next one?
So the final one, they're blood drinking, flesh eating, and shape shifting.
Okay. Are they vampires?
They're not
Okay,
vampires.
they're not vampires.
Makes a lot of sense though. No, actually, the last subject is gonna be the reptilian elite. We covered this, I believe, in our first video a little bit about the different species or races of aliens that might be out there. One of the more popular ones are the reptilian elite. So they are pretty much reptile humanoids that can shapeshift into looking like us. They walk freely among us, disguised as leaders, corporate businessmen, actors, singers, what have you. They shapeshift to look human. Many believe that a lot of events like the Holocaust, the Oklahoma bombing, and 9/11, just to name a few, were all part of a secret plan that they had. I don't know. There was a BBC reporter by the name of David Icke, who is the poster human for these claims as far as them disguising themselves freely among us and causing all this stuff. First publishing his claims in his book back in 1998, The Biggest Secret. He interviewed 2 British citizens who apparently, for a fact, knew that members of the royal family were indeed shape-shifting reptilians. And they are said to belong to the Anunnaki race. Have you ever heard of those? A lot of famous people and powerful leaders, and this is just to name a few that are associated with being them, are Queen Elizabeth, George Bush, Harry Kissinger, the Clintons, and Bob Hope. They're also said to be behind such secret societies as the Illuminati and the Freemasons, having, again, going towards their agenda. So do you feel like the Reptilians are a race that's actually around and could be among us shapeshifting, or do you think this is just a bunch of 1950 movies, monster movie stuff?
When it comes to reptilians, I do know some people personally that believe that they're 100% real. As for me, I don't know. It's like a 50-50. It's a possibility of it. I believe in definitely other alien races that have came to this earth. I know that you have very early clans. If I'm trying to remember right, the Dokus, and I believe Africa, they believe that the God came down from the star Sirius, not really from Sirius A, but a small one, Sirius B, that's where they came from, and that they were reptilian. And there's various places that have that same mythology. And back when these were known to be created, they would have had no technological resources to even know about Sirius B.
Right. It's not like astronomy wasn't a thing.
Yeah. So it could, possibility is there. I can't rule it out, but I can't never say that, I've ever met somebody who was reptilian. Nobody's ever came up to me and be like, oh, check this out. Yeah, I'm a lizard, guys. Like, I've never seen that.
I've seen videos like on YouTube where people supposedly captured, like, I guess during transformation, where I believe one of the people I actually saw on there was Hillary Clinton, where her eye just kind of like went from human to kind of like yellow snake eyes, if you will. But again, that stuff with what we can do with technology now and then, it's kind of hard to know for sure. Yeah, I know it's interesting to think about. I know a lot of these claims have been around since ancient times, back with the Egyptians and stuff. So
I think it's easy for something like the Reptilians to pin on like Hillary Clinton, because when Hillary Clinton was running, she wanted to bring a lot of the classified documents on UFOs and aliens that the government had out to attention. So that could just be people just kind of running with that theory.
Could be,
yeah, again, it's one that I'm going to put as a possibility. Just because I believe that alien races have came to this earth and continue to come to this earth. And you could maybe have an infinite amount of types of creatures that might come down. You could take an octopus and all the strange stuff that they do. That could have been somehow a species from another world.
Another planet.
I
mean, there are a lot of weird, especially when you go into the ocean.
Yeah.
A lot of weird looking stuff.
So, yeah, it's a possibility. That's where I'm going to conclude it. I'm not saying that they're real. I'm not saying that they aren't.
It's just,
for me, it's one of those 50-50s.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. And with that concludes number 5 of conspiracies. Like, comment, and subscribe and if you have any input on any of this, comment and throw us your ideas.
If there's anything we didn't touch on as far as conspiracy goes that you guys want to know or, have us cover, leave us a link or leave us something in the comments, or, go ahead and email us and let us know, and we'd be more than happy to cover it.
Yeah, and with that, we're going to close it out. Thanks, guys.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
See you later.